To all the troops and veterans watching and here in the room, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, soldiers, pilots, sailors, Marines, Gold Stars, and more, too many friends to name. Officers, enlisted, black and white, young and old, men and women, all Americans, all warriors. This hearing is for you. Thank you for figuratively and literally having my back.
You are a misogynist. Not only that, you are a Christian Zionist. And you support the war in Gaza.
I want to thank President Trump for his faith in me and his selfless leadership for our republic. He, like me, wants a Pentagon laser-focused on lethality, meritocracy, warfighting, accountability, and readiness. We will reestablish trust in our military, addressing the recruiting crisis, the retention crisis, and readiness crisis in our ranks.
Members of the security force will remove members.
We can no longer count on reputational deterrence. We need real deterrence. Unlike the current administration, politics should play no part in military matters. Our standards will be high and they will be equal, not equitable. That's a very different word. Like many of my generation, I've been there. I've led troops in combat. I've been on patrol for days. I've pulled the trigger downrange, heard bullets whiz by, flex-cuffed insurgents, called in close air support, led medevacs, dodged IEDs, pulled out dead bodies, and knelt before a battlefield cross. This is not academic for me. This is my life. I led then, and I will lead now.
This nomination is unconventional. The nominee is unconventional. That may be what makes Mr. Hegseth an excellent choice.
The Secretary is expected to be a fair, nonpartisan, and responsible leader, as well as a trustworthy advocate for the men and women that he leads. Mr. Hegseth, I do not believe that you are qualified to meet the overwhelming demands of this job.
How many men and women currently serve in the United States Army?
Senator, the United States Army, 450,000 on active duty, sir.
And how many in the Navy?
And the Navy is 425, sir.
Well, it's 337 this year. How many in the Marine Corps?
175,000, sir.
172,300. Those numbers dwarf any experience you had by many multiples.
As Secretary of Defense, will you support women continuing to have the opportunity to serve in combat roles?
Yes, women will have access to ground combat roles, given the standards remain high.
Will you resign as Secretary of Defense if you drink on the job, which is a 24/7 position?
I've made this commitment on behalf of the men and women I'm
serving. Will you resign as Secretary of Defense
I've made this commitment on behalf of the men and women I'm serving.
I'm not
because it's the most important deployment of my life.
I'm not hearing an answer to my questions.
There's a lot about qualifications, and I think it's so hypocritical of senators, especially on the other side of the aisle. Your qualifications aren't any better.
And you cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you?
Those were false charges.
Well,
it was fully investigated, and I was completely clear.
Yes or no, have you led an audit of any organization of which you were in charge?
Senator, in both of the organizations I ran, we were always completely fiscally responsible.
Yes or
with the
no,
money
did
that
you
we
lead
had.
an audit?
And the way
yes
my
or
leadership
no,
has
did you lead
been
an audit?
I thought it would be really helpful to better understand your views on women in the military.
Women in our military, as I have said publicly, have and continue to make amazing contributions across all aspects of our battlefield.
You will have to change how you see women to do this job well, and I don't know if you are capable of that.
I respect every single female service member that has put on the uniform past and present. I'm not a perfect person, but redemption is real. And God forged me in ways that I know I'm prepared for. And I'm honored by the people standing and sitting behind me, and I look forward to leading this Pentagon on behalf of the warfighter.